Hi, it's Jennifer today, and every now and then on our channel, we like to share with you all what we've been reading, watching, and listening to. These are different things like videos, articles, podcasts that we've really enjoyed, and we feel like it's worth passing on this information to you. So I'm sitting here in my very messy work area. All these books behind me are books that we are processing for the church library. It's been a crazy day, so Kate's not here, but I am forging ahead. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with two articles that we've read lately that we thought were just so good. With the Feast of the Archangels coming up on September 29th, recently we've seen a couple of different things online about something called St. Michael's Sword. So we did a little research and we found an interesting article from Catholic Exchange, I'll link it down below, about the sword of St. Michael, which is actually an invisible line that you can draw on the map that connects 7 monasteries of St. Michael in a perfectly straight line. The first monastery is in Ireland, and then the last one is in Israel. So traditionally, this line is supposed to represent the blow that St. Michael gave the devil and the path that he fell out of heaven. And it also is supposed to remind us that we are supposed to walk a straight, virtuous, narrow line. And then as we were looking for more information about the sword, we found something that I am really excited about. And that is that last summer, 2023, a Catholic priest and his family went and visited all 7 monasteries. They made a documentary about it called Angel Quest, and that is available to watch on YouTube. And it's even more interesting because the priest in this documentary is a local priest, Father Dwight Longenecker, who used to be Anglican and now he's Catholic, but he was married as an Anglican priest. So he went with his family and his children. So it looks like it's going to be really interesting. I haven't watched it yet, but I will definitely link it down below for you. And then the next article that we thought was really, really good is a short article written by Philip Campbell over at Homeschool Connections. He was one of our favorite teachers when we were homeschooling here. And his article is called, If I Could Tell You One Thing About Your Teens. And it's a really helpful article about the dangers of teenagers being overscheduled. And he walks you through the life of a typical teenager, how he does X, Y, and Z on certain days of the week, and he helps out on the farm, and he does youth group, and blah, blah, blah. And there's not one thing that this kid is doing that is too much or too hard. But then when you add it up all together, it is overwhelming. And it can lead to things like stress, anxiety, burnout. So I think this is a good reminder, not just for teenagers, but for all of us, because, we try to do as much as we can, and it's one more thing and one more thing and one more thing until we feel completely swamped and overwhelmed. So I thought, if you have teenagers or if you just feel like you're too busy, this is a helpful article. I'll link it down below for you. Now on to what we've been watching. There are a couple of things that we saw on YouTube recently that we wanted to share with you. And one is a TV show, or I think it's going to be a series called The Promised Land, which is a spoof on Moses wandering in the desert with the Israelites. I first watched this show a couple of months ago and thought it was just so funny. And then recently we rewatched it and it just made us laugh so much because it's set up as a reality type of TV show with Moses and Joshua and Miriam, doing television one-on-one interviews with the camera. You get to meet Jethro, who is Moses' father-in-law, his wife Zipporah, just all the different characters. The humor in it is just so subtle. It's so funny, but it is just a spoof, so you can't take it too seriously. But if you want to chuckle, it's a really good one to watch. A lot of the actors in this one are also in the TV show The Chosen. So if you're a Chosen fan, you will really enjoy watching The Promised Land because you can look for the different characters and see who you recognize. So the second video is a really short one, and I'm not even sure how it popped up in our YouTube feed because it's from 2016. but it's about Miss Colorado 2016, whose name was Kelly Johnson. And at the Miss America pageant that year, when she had to do her talent competition, she came out on stage in scrubs and did a monologue about one of her Alzheimer's patients whom she had been treating. And so that was very unexpected, it took the audience by surprise, but it is just so beautiful, so heartwarming. A shout out to all the nurses out there. She talks about an Alzheimer's patient named Joe. She was taking care of him, and he would ask her to do, change my medication or do this or that. And she would say, I can't, Joe, I'm just a nurse. And then on one evening when he was having a really, really hard time, she came in and comforted him. And he reminded her at that point, he said, you know what, Nurse Kelly, you're not just a nurse. For me, you're a lifesaver. So I don't know, that just really touched me because Joe had Alzheimer's, and as many of you know, my dad passed away last February from dementia also, and the nurses and the people who cared for him, they were just wonderful. So I just love seeing this video, and we thought it was so good, we wanted to share it. Now, along with filming this video, I'm also working on a confirmation class that I am teaching next week, so I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done here today. Anyway, the last thing that we wanted to share with you is what we've been listening to lately. So we are fans of Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. He talks about different Catholic things and different supernatural things, and is Bigfoot real? Is the Loch Ness Monster real? That type of thing. And there have been 3 episodes lately that we've really enjoyed, and the first one is about the apparition of the Blessed Mother at La Salette. We recently read a book about that apparition that actually left us with more questions than answers. So one of our viewers tipped us off that Jimmy Akin had done a whole episode of it on Mysterious World and that it was really good. So we went and listened to it, and it was really, really helpful. So I'll link that down below for you. And then next we listened to episode 312 called Terminal Lucidity, which is about how people near the end of life can suddenly become more aware and conscious than they were previously. For instance, there are some dementia patients that as they approach death, all of a sudden they're back in their right mind and they can talk to their friends and family and say goodbye, which of course is very comforting. But he also tells some really cool stories. For instance, there was one woman who had brain damage, and all of her life she had been nonverbal, but then right before she died, she was able to kind of wake up and sing beautiful church hymns. So of course the parochial vicar is all about that. He likes to watch Jimmy Akin and listen to him also. And then last episode 313, The Miracle of Calenda. This is a wild story about a farm worker in the 1600s who was in an accident, and then his leg was damaged and it got infected and had gangrene and had to be amputated. And so then 2 years after that, he had been praying to Our Lady of the Pillar to help him all the while. And then all of a sudden, 2 years after that, his leg was miraculously restored to him. And not just, like he grew another leg, but actually the leg that had been amputated and buried at the hospital, he got that very same leg back 2 years later. And they knew it was his leg because it had identifying marks and scars on it. So wow, yeah, that was just a crazy story. Jimmy Akin always has really interesting things. Also, recently he has started doing true crime stories. So Kate loves forensics. She is all about that. She can't wait to listen to one about the Zodiac killer. I don't know, that's a little bit intense for me, but if you're a true crime fan, definitely check out Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. Okay, so that is a roundup of what we have been reading, watching, and listening to this fall. Let us know down in the comments what you have been enjoying lately. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so I thought that it would be really cozy to have a candle going during this video, but it's a Pillsbury candle, and I don't know what the scent is supposed to be, but it's making my allergies go haywire. So anyway, it's time for this candle to go out.